The Dominion was known across the galaxy as a force that no one could stop. Their ships moved like dark storms, crushing worlds that stood in their way. For generations, they had expanded without resistance. Smaller civilizations tried to fight back, but every battle ended the same way. They took what they wanted, they destroyed what they could not take, and they never slowed down. At the edge of a quiet star system, another peaceful colony watched their skis turn to fire. Battleships dropped out of warp, their hulls glowing with sharp red patterns. The colony had only one small defense station, and everyone knew it was not enough. They fired before any warning could be sent. Metal and sparks filled space as the small station broke apart. The colony tried to activate emergency shields, but they cut through them in moments. A human reconnaissance vessel, the Pathfinder, happened to be surveying a nearby region when it detected the attack. The crew watched the destruction from a distance, hidden behind a cold asteroid. They knew they could not help. Their ship was small and unarmed, but they recorded everything. When they left, the Pathfinder turned around and headed back to human space at full speed. The footage reached Commander Laura Hayes a few hours later. She stood in a clean, bright control room aboard a Terran command station orbiting Earth. Laura was known for her steady hands and calm voice, but when she saw the tearing apart the helpless colony, her expression darkened. She replayed the video. Fires, explosions, debris drifting like broken dreams, the ships moving with cold confidence. She turned to her communication officer. "Send this to the United Terran Council. Tell them we cannot ignore this." Laura believed humanity had avoided conflict for too long. Earth stayed away from galactic politics, focusing on trade and exploration. Humans thought they were safe as long as they did not provoke anyone, but Laura had studied the Dominion for many years. She knew they did not negotiate. They did not respect borders. Sooner or later they would come. Across Earth, the footage spread quickly. People watched with fear in their eyes. Some asked if Earth was next. Others said it was not their problem. A few believed they did not even know humanity existed. But soon, rumors began to spread about a secret project deep inside a hidden shipyard. The rumors spoke of a single human warship unlike anything built before. Some said it had armor that could bend light. Others said it had weapons that could tear through any hull. Most called it only a myth. Laura knew the truth. The ship existed, it was real, and she hoped it would be enough. Far away from Earth, in a secure facility deep within an asteroid, the warship rested in darkness. Its name was the Horizon. Engineers moved around it like tiny ants on a giant machine. Sparks flew as new panels were sealed. Tools hummed. Screens glowed with endless data. Captain Cole walked along the main deck, studying every detail. He was a calm man with a focused mind, someone who made decisions carefully, had trained for years for this assignment. He knew how dangerous they were. He also knew the Horizon was humanity's best chance. Lewis, one of the lead engineers, approached him with a tablet. "Main power grid is stable," she said, "but the adaptive shield system still needs more testing." Nodded. "How long?" 2 days, maybe 3. "We might not have 3, said quietly. Looked at him. "I know, but we will make it work." Nearby, Aaron Brooks, another engineer, examined the massive kinetic lance that ran along the length of the ship. He wiped sweat from his forehead. "This thing can crack a moon," Aaron said, turning to, "but it will drain a lot of power." "That is why we have the core," replied. "The ship was built around it. If everything works, it should recover energy faster than we lose it." Aaron gave a slow nod. "If everything works." Knew what he meant. No one had ever tested these systems in real combat. They only had simulations, and they were not an enemy anyone could test against safely. Back on Earth, the United Terran Council gathered in a large round chamber. Leaders from every major human colony attended through holographic screens. They argued for hours. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to hide and hope for safety. Others said humanity had no choice but to fight. During the debate, Commander Laura Hayes stepped forward and played the footage from the colony attack. The room fell silent. "This is what they do," Laura said, "and they will do it to us when they decide we are in their way. We must prepare now." A council member asked, "And what do you suggest?" "Launch the Horizon," Laura replied. "It is the only thing ready to defend our borders. If we delay, we will not have time." The council went quiet again. After long minutes, they finally agreed. The Horizon would be launched. A week later, they sent their scouts into nearby space. They moved silently, scanning for signs of human settlements. Their ships were dark and sharp, shaped like blades. The scouts did not fear anything. They had won so many battles that they believed no species could match them. But when their ships came close to human territory, Earth detected them. Cole received the alert inside the Horizon's command room. Screens lit up with red markers. "Scout fleet entering outer sector," Grant said. She was the ship's navigation officer, and her hands danced across the console. Tyler, the weapons specialist, adjusted his headset. "Do we engage?" Took a deep breath. The Horizon was not fully tested, but if they let the scouts leave, they would report everything to the Dominion. "Prepare to launch," said. Lights turned on across the ship. Engines warmed up. Crew members moved to their stations. "All systems aligning," reported. Lewis watched the shield readings nervously. "Please hold together," she whispered. The Horizon rose from the hidden dock. Its hull glimmered with smooth, silver plates. Power lines glowed softly under the surface. The core hummed like a living heart. "Engage engines," commanded. The ship shot forward into open space. Looked at the signals ahead. "This is it," he said quietly. "Humanity's first step into a war we did not choose." He did not know how strong the truly were. He did not know how far their empire reached, but he knew one thing. Humanity would not fall without a fight. And the Horizon would be the first line of defense. The Horizon moved through space with calm, smooth motion. Its engines glowed with soft blue light as it entered the outer region of human territory. Inside the command room, the crew worked with focus. Everyone knew the scouts were close. Everyone knew this mission could decide the future. Captain Cole stood in the center of the room, watching the screens around him. He felt a quiet pressure in his chest, but he kept his voice steady. He had trained his whole life for moments like this. Now he needed to be strong for the crew and for Earth. Grant monitored the navigation console, her fingers moving carefully. She looked toward. "Signals remain steady," she said. "They are moving in a slow search pattern." Tyler checked the weapon systems. "Their scouts are small, but they have strong sensors. If they see us, they will run." "Then we make sure they do not see us," replied. The Horizon's adaptive shield system allowed the ship to bend incoming signals around its hull. It was not invisibility, but it made the ship very hard to detect. The system relied on complex energy adjustments. No other human ship had this technology. Lewis watched the shield readings closely from the engineering station. "Shield stable. Output is holding, but we cannot stay like this for long or the system will overheat." "We only need to get close once," said. As the Horizon moved forward, the crew grew quiet. The scout fleet finally appeared on the main screen. The alien ships were shaped like sharp black wings, moving in steady formation. Spoke softly. "Distance closing, they have not detected us." Gave a small nod. "Prepare to target their communication array. If they cannot send a message, the rest of the will not know what happened here." Tyler locked the targeting system. The Horizon drifted closer, hiding behind old asteroid fragments. When the ship was close enough, raised his hand. "Fire." A thin beam shot from the Horizon. It hit the nearest ship. The scout ship shuddered and lost power instantly. Before the others could react, Tyler fired again. The second beam disabled another ship. They finally noticed something was wrong. Their ships turned in confusion, looking for an enemy they could not see. "Take them out," ordered. A series of rapid shots followed. The horizon moved between the scouts like a silent shadow. One by one, the ships fell dark, their engines going offline. In less than a minute, the scout fleet floated helplessly. Tyler exhaled. All scouts disabled, none managed to send a signal. Looked around the room. The crew felt a mix of relief and pride. For the first time, humans had beaten ships. "Recover any data we can," said, "then move back to safe space." The crew began scanning the disabled ships, retrieved navigation logs. Aaron Brooks reported the energy levels of the engines, analyzed their shield systems. The more they learned, the better prepared humanity would be. After gathering enough data, the horizon turned away from the battle site. On Earth, Commander Laura Hayes received the report. She sat at her desk, reading the details carefully. When she saw the results, she closed her eyes for a moment. "The horizon did it," she said. She forwarded the report to the United Terran Council. Soon, messages began pouring in. Some leaders praised the horizon. Others warned that Earth must now prepare for retaliation. Laura contacted through a secure channel. His face appeared on her screen. "You made the right call," said. "You did more than expected," Laura replied. "But this victory will not stop them. They will notice their missing scouts. They will come in greater numbers." Nodded, "Then we must be ready." The horizon returned to the hidden shipyard for adjustments. Engineers gathered around the hull, and Aaron worked with other technical teams to improve the shield efficiency. Meanwhile, met with his senior officers. "We cannot assume the next battle will be small," said. "They will send cruisers or worse. We need to make sure every system is ready." Nodded, "I will work on faster navigation paths. If we can move quicker than they expect, we can stay ahead of them." Tyler added, "And we should test the Singularity Lance. If their larger ships come, we need something strong enough to break their armor." Agreed. The Singularity Lance was the Horizon's most powerful weapon. It used controlled gravity to create a narrow burst capable of piercing almost anything. But they had only tested it in simulations, never in real space. The next morning, they moved the Horizon to a safe testing area. A large asteroid floated nearby, cold and untouched for centuries. Gave the order, "Fire the Lance at minimum output." Tyler activated the system. The entire ship hummed as energy flowed through the core. A moment later, a dark beam shot forward and struck the asteroid. The crew watched in silence as a perfect tunnel was carved straight through the rock. Stared at the readings. "The core is stable, no overheating." Nodded, "Good. Now we have a chance if things go wrong." While the Horizon prepared, the Dominion began noticing something strange. A scout group had not reported in. Their signals were gone. Their tracking markers were missing. Inside a massive command ship, officers gathered around a glowing display. A tall commander looked at the data. "This sector contains a new species," one officer said. "Humans. They are not known for military power." The commander narrowed his eyes. Then something else must have happened. Another officer spoke. "Should we investigate?" "Yes," the commander said. "Send a cruiser fleet. If someone destroyed our scouts, we will crush them." The order spread quickly. In a distant region of space, cruisers activated their engines. Their hulls glowed with red markings as they prepared to move into human territory. Back on Earth, Laura Hayes monitored long-range scanners. The moment she saw the cruiser signals, she knew the fight had escalated. She contacted immediately. "They are sending a larger force," she said. "Several cruisers. They will enter our space soon." Stood straight, "We will intercept them." "You cannot take them alone," Laura said. "A single cruiser is stronger than anything we have fought, and they have many." "That is why we have the Horizon," replied. Laura wanted to argue, but she understood. If the cruisers reached the inner colonies, many lives would be lost. "Be careful," she said finally. The horizon set a course toward the incoming fleet. The crew felt the weight of what was coming. This battle would not be like the scout encounter. This time, they would fight back. As they traveled, addressed the crew over the ship's intercom. "We are heading into danger," he said. "We fight not for glory but for the safety of our people. Stay focused. Trust the ship. Trust each other." The response was quiet but confident. Everyone was ready. Hours later, the horizon reached the edge of a large nebula. The cruiser fleet appeared soon after, moving like black shadows through the stars. Adjusted the screen. "They are coming in formation, 7 cruisers, dozens of smaller escorts." Tyler swallowed. "This is more than expected." Looked at the fleet calmly. "Then we adjust." They did not detect the horizon at first. Their sensors searched wide areas, but the adaptive shield kept the human ship hidden. Waited until the fleet was within range. "Target the lead cruiser," he said. "Full power." The Singularity lance charged. The ship vibrated softly. Tyler aimed carefully. "Fire!" The beam tore through space and struck the cruiser. The alien ship shuddered as a hole punched through its center. Flames and debris exploded outward. The fleet froze in shock. "Move," ordered. The horizon accelerated, firing again at another cruiser. The second ship took heavy damage, its engines failing. Smaller ships tried to chase the horizon, but outmaneuvered them. The battle became chaotic. Lasers and kinetic blasts filled space. The horizon weaved through the fight, striking hard and disappearing before they could react. But they were not helpless. A heavy cruiser managed to track the horizon's energy trail. "They are locking onto us," warned. Made a quick decision. "Shift power to shields, prepare counterfire." The cruiser fired a massive energy beam. The horizon shook as the shield absorbed the hit. Sparks flew from several consoles. "Shields holding," said, "but we cannot take many hits like that." Knew they needed to end this quickly. "Target their core," he said. Tyler fired the lance again. The beam struck the cruiser's power source. The ship exploded in a burst of red and black flames. As the battle continued, one thing became clear. They had finally met an enemy they could not crush easily. And the horizon was proving that humans were ready to fight back. The horizon drifted through the quiet stretch of space after the battle, its hull marked with faint burns and scratches. The lights inside the ship flickered for a moment before stabilizing again. Everyone felt the weight of what they had just survived. The cruiser fleet had been stronger than anything they had faced before, yet the horizon had pushed through. Captain Cole stood in the command room, looking at the tactical screen. Broken pieces of ships floated far behind them. The battle had been a victory, but it had not been easy. Every member of the crew knew that they would return with even greater strength. Grant checked navigation readings. "We are clear for now," she said. "No signals in this region." Lewis leaned back in her seat, taking a slow breath. "Shields took heavy damage. The adaptive layer is weak. We need repairs soon." Nodded. "We will return to the shipyard. But first, we need to review the data we recovered from the cruisers." Tyler brought up the scans they had taken during the fight. The ships had advanced armor, strong engines, and thick energy lines running through their hulls. "There is something strange here," Tyler said. "The cruisers had a communication relay running at all times, even while fighting." Frowned. "Did they manage to send anything?" Studied the screen. "We disabled 2 cruisers before they could react, but the others might have sent fragments." Checked the logs. "I see short bursts of energy. Some signals left the battlefield." Felt a chill run through him. If those signals reached the Dominion, the enemy would know everything: the horizon's location, weapon strength, and tactics. He turned to the crew. "We need to move now. They will send more ships, bigger ones." The horizon set course for the hidden asteroid shipyard. As they traveled, the crew worked quietly. A silent tension filled the ship. Even victory had a heavy cost. When they reached the shipyard, dozens of engineers and mechanics rushed to meet them, and Aaron Brooks led repair teams. They moved along the hull, checking for weak points. Met with Laura Hayes through a secure video link. Her expression was serious. "You did well," she said, "but we have a problem." "What happened?" asked. Laura brought up a map of space. Several symbols glowed red. "They have received some kind of signal. Their ships are gathering. This is not a scout group or a cruiser fleet. This is an assault armada." Stomach tightened. "How many?" "At least 40 large ships," Laura replied, "and more are joining." Understood the danger immediately. 40 ships would crush any human force. Only the Horizon had the strength to hold them off, but even that might not be enough. Laura continued, "We are preparing our defenses, but our colonies are spread out. If they attack in multiple directions, we cannot protect everyone." Said quietly, "Then we must stop them before they reach human space." Laura nodded, agreed, "But this time you cannot fight alone. We are calling for help." She sent out messages to smaller species living near human borders. Many of them had suffered under the. Some had lost entire worlds. Now, seeing the Horizon's victory, they were ready to join the fight. After repairs, the Horizon launched again. A small Allied fleet followed. Their ships were old and weaker, but they brought numbers and hope. Looked at the screens. Allied ships are in formation. Tyler checked weapons. "We will need every one of them." Spoke through the intercom. "This battle will decide if they reach our people or not. Stay focused and trust each other." The crew responded with quiet determination. They reached the edge of territory. The region was empty at first, silent and cold, but sensors soon detected something ahead. A massive armada appeared on the horizon of space, their ships glowing with red symbols and moving in a tight formation. The sight made everyone's breath catch. Whispered, "There are so many." Remained calm. We knew they would not hold back. The ships advanced slowly, showing no fear. Their confidence had built over centuries of victories. Inside the command ship of the Armada, the Supreme Commander watched the sensors. He saw the small human fleet ahead and laughed. "These humans are bold," he said in a deep, harsh voice, "but they will fall like the others." An officer asked, "What of the strange human warship that destroyed our cruisers?" "A single ship cannot stand against us," the commander replied. "We will crush it first." Back on the horizon, the crew prepared for the coming storm. Tyler said, "The Singularity Lance is charged. Shields are stable." Added, "Armor is ready, but we must be careful. If it absorbs too much force, it will weaken fast." Studied the Armada. "We engage at long range." He gave the order, "Fire the lance." A dark beam shot out, slicing through space. It hit one of the ships. The ship exploded into a cloud of debris. They reacted instantly. Dozens of enemy ships fired at once. The sky lit up with blasts. The Horizon moved quickly, dodging some shots and blocking others with its shields. Allied ships opened fire, but their weapons were weaker. Some were destroyed in the first few minutes. Tyler gritted his teeth. "They are focusing on us." Replied, "Good, keep them focused. It keeps our allies safe." The Horizon charged forward, firing again and again. The Singularity Lance tore through armor, but for every ship destroyed, more moved in. One destroyer locked onto the Horizon and fired a massive energy blast. The impact shook the entire ship. Sparks in Sector 3 shouted, "Shields dropping." Shouted, "Reroute power, keep us in the fight." The Horizon turned sharply, avoiding another blast, pushed the engines to their limit. The battlefield became chaos. Explosions filled the darkness. Allied ships fought bravely but fell one after another. Knew they were losing ground. "We cannot stay here. We need a new plan." He looked at the star map. A large nebula was nearby, filled with unstable energy. pointed at it. We lure them into the nebula. Their sensors will weaken. Their formation will break. Asked, can we survive in there? Said, we have adaptive shields. They do not. The Horizon turned and headed for the nebula. Allied ships followed. The Armada chased them, firing endless blasts. As they entered the nebula, bright colors swirled around them. Static filled the sensors. Ships followed, but their formation broke apart. Their ships struggled to navigate through the unstable clouds. Shouted, now turn and fire. The Horizon spun around and fired the lance at close range. The beam hit a battleship, tearing its core apart. Tyler fired again, hitting another ship. The nebula shook with the force of explosions. Looked at the readings. The energy here is unstable. We must be careful. Nodded, just a little longer. Ships tried to reorganize, but the nebula confused their sensors. Many crashed into energy storms. Saw an opening, push forward, break through them. The Horizon charged. Allied ships followed the path it carved. They hit from the center, breaking their line. A bright explosion lit up the nebula as another ship fell. Finally, after long hours of fighting, the Armada began to pull back. Said with relief, they are retreating. Nodded, they took heavy losses, but they will return. The crew felt a mixture of relief and exhaustion. Tyler asked, what now? Looked at the battlefield. Now they know we are dangerous. Their leader will not accept this loss. They will send their greatest ship next. His eyes widened. The Imperial flagship. Nodded slowly. That will be our next battle, and it will decide everything. The retreat of the Armada brought a short moment of peace, but it did not last long. The Horizon drifted near the edge of the nebula, its hull glowing softly from the energy storms inside. The crew worked quietly, repairing damaged systems and restoring power. Everyone knew this pause was only a temporary breath before the final storm. Captain Cole stood by the main screen, watching the stars. He knew the next battle would not be like the others. They had suffered heavy losses, and they would not accept such defeat. Their pride would demand a powerful response, and that response could destroy everything. Grant walked up beside him. Long-range sensors are clear, she said, but I can feel it. They are coming. Nodded, they will not walk away from this, not after losing so many ships. Lewis approached with her face showed worry. We managed to repair the shields, but the adaptive layer is still weak. It will hold, but under heavy fire it may break fast. We will make it work, said. Across the galaxy, in the heart of the Dominion, the Supreme Commander of the Empire stood before a massive window showing a field of stars. His eyes burned with fury. Reports from the recent battle filled his chamber. Humans, he growled, a species we ignored, and now they dare to challenge us. An officer bowed his head. Our Armada has suffered great losses. The humans used the nebula to break our formation. The commander's voice rumbled. Then we will no longer send fleets. We will end them with one ship. He turned and looked at the dark shape resting in the central dock, a ship larger than any other vessel, with glowing red lines carving through its black armor. This was the Imperial flagship, a ship that had destroyed entire civilizations. Its presence alone often forced weaker races to surrender. Prepare the flagship, the commander said. I will lead this battle myself. The officers bowed at once. The flagship left their home world with a roar of engines that shook the sky. Its weapons glowed like crimson fire. Smaller escort ships followed behind, forming a convoy of destruction. Back aboard the Horizon received the alert. Laura Hayes appeared on his screen, her expression tense. We have confirmation, she said. They are sending their Imperial flagship. This is not like the others. This ship ended dozens of civilizations. Felt the weight of the words. Do we know its capabilities? Laura shook her head. Only rumors. Some say it carries a planet-killer weapon. Others say its armor cannot be broken. remained calm. If we run, the flagship will reach our colonies. We fight here. Laura nodded slowly. We are sending small support fleets. They will not be strong enough to fight the flagship, but they can assist. Thanked her and ended the call. The Horizon moved away from the nebula and headed toward open space. The crew felt the tension rising. Tyler checked the weapons system again and again, unable to relax. We will need everything we have, Tyler said. Added, the Singularity Lance must be used carefully. If we fire too much, the core will overheat. Studied the map. We need a battlefield that gives us some advantage. Pointed to a region of unstable space near a collapsing nebula. Here, the energy storms can weaken enemy sensors. If we time our attacks, we can strike when they cannot see us. They moved into position. Hours later, the flagship appeared. It arrived like a dark sun rising. Its hull stretched wider than mountains. Its lights burned like angry stars. Even the escort ships looked small beside it. The Horizon's crew fell silent at the sight. Whispered, "It is huge." Tyler said, "I have never seen anything like this." Stared at the enemy ship. We knew this moment would come. The fleet advanced slowly, their formation tight. The Imperial commander stood on his bridge, staring ahead. "Destroy them," he said. Ships opened fire. Beams of red energy tore through space. The Horizon dodged and weaved, its shields shimmering. "Return fire," ordered. Tyler fired the Singularity Lance. The beam shot out and struck one of the escort ships, tearing it apart instantly. But the flagship did not slow down. It fired a massive cannon. A shockwave hit the Horizon, shaking the entire ship. "Sparks on deck 5, shouted. "Shields at 60%. Made a quick decision. Moved toward the collapsing nebula. Pushed the engines. The Horizon darted through the unstable region. Clouds of glowing dust swirled around them. Lightning-like energy crackled between particles. The flagship followed. Inside the nebula, sensors grew weak. The Horizon's adaptive shields switched to a new frequency, blending the ship's signal with the energy storms. "Hold steady," he said. The flagship fired blindly into the nebula. Explosions shook the region. Saw an opening. "Fire the lance." Tyler fired. The beam hit the flagship but only scratched the armor. Gasped, "It barely damaged them." Read the scans. "Their armor is absorbing most of the energy." Clenched his jaw. "Then we need to amplify the lance." His eyes widened. "If we use too much power, the core might blow." Looked at her calmly. "If we do nothing, Earth will fall." Slowly nodded. "I will try." The Horizon moved deeper into the nebula. Energy storms grew stronger. The core hummed louder than ever. The flagship advanced, its red lights glowing through the storm. Gave the final order. Charge the lance with full nebula energy. And Aaron worked quickly. They connected the lance's system to the nebula's unstable energy field. The ship shook violently, lights flickered, warnings flashed. "Core reaching critical levels," yelled. "Almost there," said. The flagship fired again. The blast hit the Horizon, the shields cracked, alarms rang. "Shields at 20%, shouted. The core reached maximum charge. Tyler aimed at the flagship's core. "Ready," he yelled. Raised his hand, "Fire." The Singularity Lance erupted with a roaring burst. It absorbed the nebula's unstable energy, turning the beam into a massive blast that tore through space. It hit the flagship directly in its center. For a second, nothing happened. Then the flagship's core collapsed. A bright explosion filled the nebula. The shockwave pushed the Horizon back and shattered several escorts. The Imperial flagship cracked open like a dying star. The explosion grew until the ship was gone. Silence filled the nebula. Stared at the screen. We destroyed it. Tyler leaned back in his seat, breathless. "I cannot believe it." Checked the core. "We are stable, barely, but alive." finally exhaled, "It is over." The last surviving ships, shocked and leaderless, retreated across the stars. Without the flagship and its commander, the Empire began to collapse from within. Factions broke apart. Conquered species rebelled. The Dominion's reign ended. The Horizon returned to human space with quiet pride. Earth welcomed them as heroes. Allied species celebrated them as saviors. Commander Laura Hayes met at the docks. "You did the impossible," she said. Shook his head. "The crew did, and the Horizon." Laura smiled softly. "You ended a reign that lasted for centuries." Looked back at the Horizon. Its hull was damaged, its systems tired, but it stood as a symbol of hope. "Humanity did not start this war," said, "but we ended it." And across the stars, the galaxy would remember the day when a single human warship stopped an empire that had crushed countless worlds. The Horizon and the people who sailed it became legends.